welcome everybody to tonight's Town Hall event.
My name's Eva.
I'm a member of the Zeitgeist Movement. I'm 63 years old in September.
My name is Paul. I'm originally from Ukraine.
My name is Aaron Pardos.
And my name is Roy Talil. I'm very new to this thing.
We've had many different kinds of meetings. This particular one is more of a town hall format, and this particular focus for this particular meeting is why I advocate the Zeitgeist Movement.
Continuing in the vein of traditional culture, traditional civil rights, human rights movements of the past, where the blame is pointed past institutions to the greater socio-cultural, socio-structural condition itself, which causes oppressors to oppress, corporations to neglect, financial interests to manipulate.
On 9/11, which is a day you may not remember from 2001, that was my 49th birthday. And if you don't believe that change is possible, you didn't live through that day.
I love my life. I care about improving my life in every way possible. I want my life to be easy, simple, safe, and in order for me to achieve such bliss, that level of life, to improve my life greatly, I realized a long time ago that I'm a part of human society. And in order for me to improve my life, I have to improve the lives of everyone around me.
As far as I can tell, we have three options as a species. The first is that we just continue on the path that we're on. And as far as I can tell, that's insustainable. And that will likely lead to more topsoil depletion and war and starvation, poverty, and maybe extinction of the species. I don't know, just doesn't seem that attractive of a future as a species.
Basically, I told him that a lot of the points that were like point by point, I've been kind of considering in my mind for a long time. And so I talked to him about it and said, so let me show you this thing. And I've been trained as an economist, even though I didn't practice. So when you're trained as an economist, you see the pitfalls right away, what the things that don't work in the system. And the cyclical craziness of the system is built in the system.
Yeah, things aren't working really well. We've all pretty much got that part down. There's no shortage of problems. But how do we now function in this, and how do we effectively change it? How is it that we can exist in this with all the slings and arrows that go along with it, just by participating or even simply by advocating a different way of looking at the situation that we're in?
The movement's here to inform and unify, to inform about the great lack of integrity within our current social system to accomplish well-being for the human population and facilitate its progress. Integrity which was really never there to begin with, carrying on in its dated structure of this hierarchical survival interaction, failing the great majority of the human population with its characteristic elitism, class discrimination, ecological disregard, and labor slavery under the shadow of a ruling class which too suffers the consequences of a global culture of detachment from reality and all that is sustainable and peaceful within the web of life.
We're going to go from where we are now, where we've been for thousands of years, where change and progress is very uncertain and sporadic and unexpected often, to where change becomes positive and planned, intelligently planned, where people come to expect that positive change will happen because it's been planned into society. And we won't have so many French revolutions, so to speak. We won't have so many 1917s because we won't get to the point where people have nothing to eat because we've planned so that the abundance that we already have is shared in a way that's equitable and reasonable.
If I improve your life and you happy, you healthy, you have a lot of time, you are well educated, and your children are well educated and they're happy and healthy, and they have a lot of time for art, for science. They create things, they develop things. Your child is genius engineer, your child is genius scientist, doctors. So they create amazing things all around me, and they make my life easier, safer, more fun, more exciting.
Without shifting, without giving up a monetary market system, since the foundation of that is consumption, and not just consumption, but cyclical consumption, I don't see any way that we could survive as a species and continue to operate inside a monetary market system. It would take that shift over to a resource-based economy, which is based on a true economy, intelligent management of the household and sustainability, and where we embrace outsourcing our labor to machines rather than in our current system where that's a threat to our survival. That would actually enhance our survival.
We are fast approaching the point that there's not going to be enough work for everybody who wants to work and support themselves. And that's going to create a major issue that Europe is struggling with it right now.
I'm not looking for the patchwork fix to the problems we have. I want something that's global, because there's no other way around it. We share a common home, and it's this planet. And we have to start looking at it that way, as hard as that can be, or as unlearned at this point as we behave. But it truly is one planet, and we all share it.
The great realization which marks our time here is that there's no necessity for dragging the market method of economy forward, given the ability to create a global abundance and actually optimize ourselves. And the most notable important piece of tech we have is the life system itself, the social system. And this is one of the defining aspects with this effort, coming to see the world holistically and society holistically in terms of a social system.
It's entirely possible and inevitable that we progress from where we are now with a society that's based on too much on individualism to a society where most people come to understand that it's in their personal best interest to care about what happens to the rest of society.
And I see it's just rampant, people selling out their integrity to survive. It's like we want to live in an environment of integrity where people are honor their word. Well, it's one thing to say that, but it's another thing to set up a system where there is a survival benefit to doing so.
See, in this country, in the last 200 and so years, every generation did better than their parents. This is the first generation which is not. When you have a balance sheet of corporation and they tell you what it cost us to produce certain things, labor and materials, they leave a few things out because in the current system of accounting, it doesn't count. Like the pollution, the fact that we are depleting the fishery in the world, the fact that we are chopping trees in the world in a rate which in about 20 or 30 years, we're not gonna have any forests. And all this thing adds up. And one economist did the calculation. It says the GDP of the United States is basically zero if you figure everything on the other side, the costs that they don't count.
As a practicing physician, as a radiologist, I have seen this throughout my medical career. What we tend to do as physicians in America is take care of individuals. American medicine is based fundamentally on attention to the individual, focus on individual and their problems, and trying to find solutions to them, just like engineering. Public health is a very different entity. Public health evolved from medicine because of necessity.
Yeah, what is going on here? Why is it set up this way? Just start to ask the questions. One of the things I like to reflect on is once you get them asking questions, that's the beginning. That's a great beginning. And part of it too is you can't unknow something. You can dismiss it, you can marginalize it, but you can't unknow it.
It's necessary to embrace these life-improving, life-sustaining potentials as a cooperative world culture. And this can no doubt be achieved through enough education, public informing, as the vision and train of thought held here deliberately and incidentally transcends progress-inhibiting debate and endless relativistic discourse, bridging across political, ethnic, ideological, educational, economic class, and activist group divisions.
So to me, that's really the heart of the possibility of a resource-based economy, is really looking at who we would be as human beings. And what if we could actually have a society where we were perpetrators and beneficiaries of a culture in incline?
So that's when he presented that thing. He says, "This is thing that I realized and analyzed, and I got to." So I realized that somebody did the whole analysis systematically and all that thing. So the issue is really for humanity to realize that a world that works for everybody with nobody left out is the only option.
I don't care where you come from. I don't care what ethnicity you are. I don't care what language you speak. We all share these problems that we have today, and we have to contribute in our own way to their solution.
In a world of politics, corporate world, financial world, you think your life is amazing, great right now? You can't even imagine how your life can be improved in a resource-based economy. So let's support this, okay? Let's make this happen.
We've grown accustomed to ways that do not allow the natural progression of life on this planet to solve the problems we face and live life in a way we know is possible, in a way that allows the individual human spirit to flourish in a life-supporting, global human community that understands that everyone is included.